Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm a sleep physician. And if you have insomnia, this channel is for you. Ellen posted a really good question in the comments to episode 167, where she's wondering the following. If you start restricting your time in bed, won't your body kind of get used to sleeping less? And will it not be difficult to get back up to the number of hours you need? Very good question. And the answer to that question lies much in looking at quality, not so much quantity. Hello there. Hope you're doing really good, and welcome back. Welcome if if this is the first time on your channel. Welcome to you as well, of course. As mentioned on episode 167, where we talked about like how insomnia ends and how it doesn't end. That sparked a lot of discussion, and there was a really good question from Ellen that I want to read to you, and then I think we can learn a lot from talking about the answer to this question here. So I'll start here. So Ellen writes the following. What confuses me is that CBTi is training your body to get the necessary sleep in a restrictive window. Then it wouldn't be easy/possible to get expanding time in bed or earlier sleep onset. Before I read further, if you are new to the channel, one of the key techniques of cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, and CBTi, by the way, is all I talk about on this channel, really. One of the key techniques is actually limiting time in bed so that you are awake for maybe a pretty sustained amount of time, and you have a good sleep drive, a strong need to sleep, and that helps you fall asleep and stay asleep, and then you wake up at a consistent wake up time. That's bedtime restriction. So that said, let's continue reading here. Ellen says, in my case, I can function very well with 5.5 hours, so I wouldn't necessarily want or need to expand my sleep window, but so many people say they need 7 to 8 hours of sleep. It does seem similar to dieting. Once you start restricting calories, you can't increase the calories and maintain weight. I don't know how many people go on to significantly increase their quantity of sleep once they successfully master the restrictive sleep window. As I said, if I can get pretty consistently 5.5 hours of quality sleep, I will be great with that. But for those who want 2 additional hours, it seems like it would be challenging as the body adjusts to the new normal. A very good question. And to distill it down again, if you spend a limited time in bed, won't your body just get used to it? And how can you get back up to the full amount you need? Well, I think there are two pieces to this that I want to comment on. And one is that, the sleep need. We all need a certain amount of sleep. It sounds like Ellen, in this case, needs about 5.5 hours. She functions well on that. But she mentions that a lot of people feel they need 7 to 8 hours. There are certainly people out there who need 8 hours of sleep, but they're the vast minority. If you look at studies on this, and if you're following the channel, you've heard me say this multiple times, but if you ask healthy adults how much they sleep, most people will estimate sleeping 7 hours. People generally think they sleep 7 hours, but you objectively check it, most people sleep around 6 hours. A little bit more than 6 hours is kind of the average. So we generally need a little less than we think. But people who have no problem sleeping, they overestimate how much they sleep. They just don't remember waking up or having any trouble sleeping. They just think they sleep 7 hours. And if you have insomnia, you tend to underestimate because you're so aware of time. Now, that said, people have a certain sleep need, and most of us need a little bit more than 6 hours of sleep. And that doesn't really change that much. The classical teaching is that with age, as we get older, we need a little bit less, and that may be true. I don't know that there's actually really great data on that, but that is kind of the classical teaching. And so if you restrict your time in bed and you start sleeping less and you need more, like that need doesn't change. It's not like, your body can reset, like now I need this amount of calories. By the way, that happens because as we lose weight, we lose cells, and each little cell produces ghrelin, right? Or actually, in fact, I don't know this is ghrelin, but each cell has like a way to communicate a need for energy. So each little cell in our body wants energy. So that's why, it's hard to lose weight initially, but the more you lose, the body's kind of set point lowers, then we don't need to eat too much. But that does not, my point here is just simply, that doesn't happen with sleep. Sleep need is pretty fixed. And so, even if you restrict time in bed, that wouldn't change. So if you need 7 hours and you're spending 5.5 hours in bed, you're only getting 5.5 hours of sleep. You will start getting sleepy during the day, and your body will tell you, I need more. But I think the most important point really is the following, that, and this goes back to, I think, Ahmed asked me this question where I got stumped. He was like, how many people go from sleeping 3 to 4 hours or 4 to 5 hours to 7 to 8 hours on CBTi? And I was like, that's a good question. And I realized I was stumped because people that are successful and overcome their insomnia, they always say, I'm not worried anymore. I feel good during the day. I have no problem sleeping. They don't say, I get my full 7 hours now. Because part of overcoming insomnia is letting go of like aiming for a certain amount of time. It's all about like feeling good, feeling like you don't have any problem sleeping. That is success. Success is not getting 8 hours, because if you look at quantity, it's all arbitrary. Like, I could really want to get 7 hours, but if it's not in me to get that, then trying to get that is just going to be frustration. So just some thoughts on this. I hope you found this helpful, Ellen. And I know, Ellen, in your particular case, you are getting very little sleep, but you're feeling great during the day, and we've communicated privately, by email about this. So I just want you to know that I'm mindful of your situation in the context of everything I talked about. So I hope this answer was helpful, and hope to have each and everyone back very soon. Until then, take care.